In today's episode, let's talk a bit about business strategy, AI, of course, and being first. Why do companies race to be first? It's not just an ego thing, although sometimes it's an ego thing, but companies race to be first for anything because it's very hard to break people out of habits once they have them. And if someone has a habit that you establish, you have a defensible position, right? If another company is in market and they were first, you and your product have to be significantly better to convince people to change, to break people of the habits of the first product, and you have to over deliver on what has come before. Right? Think about all the things that are still in place that we just kind of accept as that's the way things should be, right? The Ford assembly line. That set the standard for auto manufacturing that is still in use today. Now, there's more robots involved, but it's still that general concept hasn't gone away. Kellogg's Corn Flakes set the standard for boxed breakfast cereals, and almost everything on the shelf is a conceptual derivative of that. Yeah, there's, colored marshmallows and stuff or whatever in them, but no one's invented something that is so much better that people have stopped consuming breakfast cereal. Right? That company was so first that they defined not just their niche, but they defined pretty much that industry. One of the reasons why they're still around today. In the world of AI, the reason we pay attention to companies like OpenAI isn't because their products are the best. In fact, sometimes their products are downright, disastrous. At the moment, though, their current generation models, they're just barely ahead of their competitors. Like Claude 3 Opus and Google Gemini actually are ahead in terms of some features like context windows. Although the GPT-4 Omni model is more capable, but just barely. If you read the leaderboards around over on Chatbot Battleground, OpenAI used to have a commanding lead in the market, and now that gap has narrowed. But they were still first. And because they were first, they set a lot of standards. Being first sets the standard. Being first sets expectations. Being first puts boundaries and definitions around something amorphous and undefined, and gives people expectations. It helps people set expectations. We like that as a species, as an animal, a set of animals. We like definition. We like order. Our brains love predictability. Absolutely love it. Every product coming on the market that is a language model of some kind advertises that it is compatible with the OpenAI API standard, right? The ChatML standard, ChatML templates and stuff. Compatible because they were first, and there's a lot of code out there that is written for ChatML and OpenAI's API. And so if you are building a product in the ecosystem, you've got to be compatible with that standard. Now, there are variations, but those variations are pretty minor because all the competitors realize they have to adhere to that standard because the switching cost away from it isn't worth it. And so every vendor has to go, well, we have to be compatible or else people will not use us because it's too much pain for not significantly better gain. The key to remember here is, in terms of strategy, you have to be the first or the best. And there are plenty of companies that, yes, they were first and they failed to be good enough to set the standard. But in general, the earlier you are, the better. And the best place to be is to be the one that defines the market, sets expectations, and controls the standards. So whatever your business is, whatever your product or service or company does, if you can be the first at that and be good enough, you will have a competitive advantage that's difficult to dislodge. And if you are competing against such a company, you have your work cut out for you because you have got to be better by a substantial margin to convince people that switching is worth it. So that's going to do it for this episode. Thanks for tuning in. Talk to you soon. If you enjoyed this video, please hit the like button. Subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. And if you want to know when new videos are available, hit the bell button to be notified as soon as new content is live.